We are Team Euphoria, and this is our presentation of 118com on ITIL life cycle stages.
The service operation. The processes which are in service operation are incident management, problem management, event management, access management, and service request fulfillment. And the service operation phase in ITIL lifecycle consists of an agreement which has to be met by the service provider. If service technical disruption does take place, service operation will be on hand in restoring the service as swift as possible to prevent any interruption to the business. Example of a service operation. A news agents, if a business is hit by a technical fault on the bus terminal, they will contact the service provider, who will then look at restoring the service as quick as possible, as this will be in the agreement and they will have to oblige by the agreement. Business value. The service provider ensures the services are operating within the performance level which were guaranteed in the agreement. If there are any faults in the service, the provider will make it priority to get it fixed as quick as possible. The service provider will attempt to avoid or minimize the impact of fault on the business, and they will have a focal point, i.e. a service desk, which is a point of communication between the user and the service provider. Incident management looks at ways of getting the service back up and running. It consists of steps which are followed when a business reports a fault. Detection. The system's not operating as usual. A system alert message comes forth. Logging. The incident details are logged onto the system and recorded in the incident management system. Classification. The incident is going to be categorized into a certain criteria, so any diagnostic results will be inputted into there. Prioritization. The impact and urgency of the incident will be looked and prioritized at its level of urgency. Investigation and initial diagnostics. Tools will be used to determine what the fault is and used to find a solution to the fault. Escalation. May be dispatched to another handling group to deal with it. Resolution and recovery. The service is restored back as usual. Closure. Solution is found and the service is back up and running. User is happy and the case is closed. Problem management. Problem management. Reactive problem management responds to fault which arise in the service and usually use incident management process. Proactive management seeks out any improvements which are needed to the service and infrastructure to avoid incidents from occurring. Problem management will use methods such as fault tree analysis to identify the cause of incidents. One of the cause of the fault is identified. It will then move on to issue a request for change to conclude a permanent fix. If the permanent fix is not feasible, they may construct a workaround to restore the service and reducing the impact of on the industry.
Event management monitors all the events that occur within the infrastructure, giving an early recognition for any incidents that might occur or take place. Event management is broken down into three basic types: informational, warning, and exception. Access management. This allows the business to grant permission to the individuals who have access to the IT services. Service request fulfillment. This is the final process where it deals with all the service requests, ensuring that users have no problem using the IT services which are provided by the business.
Operation in relation to business. One of the main advantages of service operation is scalability, this being because it can be implemented to any size business or organisation, as well as how well it helps to improve the overall quality of the service through sound management practices. An example of how service operation can be implemented into a business could be in technical support centres. Service operation refers to monitoring and control, as well as problem management. An example could be undergoing risk assessments to ensure that the business complies with the Health and Safety at Work Act. This would be going around the workplace with a risk assessment sheet, looking to ensure that there are no hazards around the workplace and all technical aspects of the business, such as service, etc., are in full working condition. Here are examples of different roles and responsibilities within businesses where service operation can be implemented. You have release manager, security administrator, application support, IT operations manager, database administrator, problem manager, service desk and incident manager, network support and security manager. Another example could be within an organisation, such as an educational institution like schools or universities. Students will be able to have their login and password details, which enables them to log onto computers in classrooms or around the university or campus. Each student or staff member will be allocated a certain amount of data storage. This will be for downloads, for saved files, etc. If a user is to run out of data storage, they will go to a network support manager or an IT operations manager within the campus, the school. This will be the technical support team, and they will be able to allocate them with more data storage or something like that. Also, another example in educational institutions would be if a user is to forget their password or login details. They'll again go to the network support or IT operations manager, and then they'll be given a new one.
Continual service improvement is about continuing to align and realign services, processes, and functions while considering the business's changing needs during the process. A business's needs are identified and then implemented, and these new changes end up supporting the business. Continual service improvement also takes into account consistent application of quality management methods to the overall service management effort. There are 4 stages in continual service improvement. The first stage is service review. This stage's purpose is to review business and infrastructure services regularly to make sure the service's current potential is maximised. Whenever there appears to be a need for an improvement in a business, this process is aimed at identifying what can be done in the most efficient way and analysing the economic costs behind the proposed improvement. The second stage is process evaluation. This evaluates all processes regularly to ensure they are all working efficiently. This process includes identifying areas where expected processes are not working to their full potential and then assessing and reviewing the possible problem. The third stage is the definition of CSI initiatives. The purpose of CSI initiatives is to improve services and processes after taking into consideration the previous stages of service review and evaluation. The fourth stage is monitoring of CSI initiatives. The monitoring of CSI initiatives objectives are to make sure that the attempts at improvements are going as planned, and if a problem occurs, then there will be an intervention to correct the problem. The manager of this process is responsible for managing improvements to IT services. They would have to continue to measure performance and design improvements to counteract any problems that are found in the business or any opportunities that they can decide that will improve the business. This is all done in the hopes of increasing cost and work efficiency.
There are 4 ways in which continual service improvement can be categorised. The first is improvement. Looking at the before and after measurement, an improvement can be identified and changes can be seen. This could be some sort of change in a service in order to make something easier to use, in which will create better relations with the customer. The second value to a business is some sort of benefit. When improvements are made, there will usually be a benefit for the user. If a company changed a service that improved the customer relations, a business is likely to see more purchases to be made by the customers and also new customers starting to purchase from due to positive reviews. Return on investment concentrates on the monetary gains for a business. As more customers starting purchasing from a business, more revenue is made and the profit is likely to grow as well. As the business grows, they will be able to branch out to new suppliers and they may be able to find cheaper stock which will cut their costs. Value on investment looks at non-monetary gains for a business. This could be something such as better company image. As a business grows popular with customers, their image is growing as well. The business will be able to venture out into new markets and start to create new products or services. There are 4 reasons why a business would want to monitor and measure a service. To validate previous decisions, by doing this they can see what they did in previous services and which areas they can improve in and the positive things that can continue to use. In order for a business to have an idea of where they want to go, you have to set directions or objectives for a task. This is the widespread reason for monitoring and measuring within the ITIL lifecycle. In order for a service to change for the better, proof is needed to evidence and the justification. A business would measure and monitor to see when the best possible time is to intervene. In order for a change to be successful, a business needs to make sure that it picks a relevant time when it will be most effective.
An example of a company in relation to continuous service improvement is Amazon.com. As you know, Amazon is a very popular website for selling products and introducing their own IT equipment. So they need to make sure that these services that they are offering and products that they are selling are meeting customers' requirements and they're completing their business value. So in continuous service improvement, you look at the alignment and realignment of services that you already been offering. So that process can be helpful for them to manage their services, so they can make corrective actions to meet their customers' new requirements. So they can fit into changing business needs.